You are now listening to Lady in Denim. Kick back and enjoy the ride. The intense and selfish desire for something can blind humans in a way that steers them from morality. The greedy are never satisfied, and that gaping hole of unfulfillment opens the door to treachery, theft, defraudment, and exploitation of the vulnerable. So, sugar, when it comes to the big corporations, it is no surprise that many have a shady past they so desperately try to cover up, all in hopes of continuing to profit off of your hard-earned money. Today we will take a look into the file of Bayer's secret, long-forgotten rap sheet of rapacity and trickery, but we will focus mainly on one scandal that shook the very core of many innocent consumers during the 1980s. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I get into that mess, let's take a brief peep into Bayer's insidious past. The founders, Friedrich Bayer and Johann Friedrich Westcott, would establish Bayer in 1863. The company later on would develop aspirin in 1899. Around that time, it also became the first company to sell heroin as a cough suppressant for children, leading to a downward spiral of scandal and notoriety ever since. Bayer had extensive ties to the Third Reich through its parent company IG Farben during World War II, which involved experimentations of drugs given to the prisoners in Nazi Germany. Honey, if those two incidences weren't bad enough, Bayer would rack up a bunch of lawsuits for reported side effects that led to personal injury from the use of drugs and devices like Essure and Baycol. These claims would include death. In June of 1981, the first case of AIDS was reported in the United States, and it was declared an epidemic by 1984. From 1981 to 1990, the death toll reached over 675,000, and overall 84.2 million people have been infected with the HIV virus worldwide since the beginning of the epidemic up until now. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is an addition of information to paint a horrific picture of what is coming next. In the early 1980s, a division of Bayer named Cutter Biological knowingly sold tainted blood-clotting agents infected with HIV to Asia and Latin America months after withdrawing them from Europe and the US. Honey, if that didn't make you cringe, Cutter Biological sold millions worth of the tainted hemophiliac medication, and internal documents allege the sources of blood gathered was obtained by infected prisoners, intravenous drug users, and high-risk gay men. It's quite fair to say Bayer had a hand in spreading the deadly virus, considering they knew the reports of hemophiliacs becoming ill from their blood products in the US and Europe. The blood of donors was not screened for HIV, and unsurprisingly became a leading killer of hemophiliacs in the early years of AIDS. Now I know many of you are wondering, why did they do this? Well, my dumplings, it all comes down to greed and selfishness. The financial investment in the product was considered too high to destroy the inventory. Well, It's as simple as that. Makes your blood boil, doesn't it? However, don't run up your blood pressure and catch a heart attack just yet, sugar. Bayer paid out $600 million to settle lawsuits brought by thousands of American hemophiliacs, despite being adamant of no wrongdoing. But karma is hellfire and heels, because the nefarious company rounded up to nearly $10 billion in settlements for 100,000 pending lawsuits. Remember, Bayer has a long rap sheet. Oh, but nothing tickles me pink than a greedy corporation losing out on lots of money. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode that I promised you in my last one. If you made it this far, let me know what you think about the background music and share your thoughts on this episode. I would love to read your responses. If you are listening on YouTube, that is. And thank you for listening. You can follow my Insta at the Lady of Denim Podcast _. You can follow my main Insta and Twitter at a Denim Be sure to like and follow my Facebook page at the Lady of Denim Podcast. Mwah. Until next time, darling.